morning, everyone, and welcome back to some more writing. Today is day 2 of distance learning, and Miss Andros and Khaleesi couldn't be more excited. Now, before we get into anything else, I want to make sure that you have watched Mr. Skyer's read aloud lesson because we're going to be needing that for today. If you have not watched Mr. Skyer's read aloud lesson, I want you to pause this video right now. That's right, pause it. Go back to watch his read aloud lesson and then do your exit ticket and come back and join me for writing. Now, if you've already done all of that and you're like, I'm all set, then we are going to move right forward with our writing lesson. Now, before we move into our writing lesson, the first thing is we have to make sure we have all our materials. So let's go over that again. If your family picked up the packet, you should have it with you. Make sure you have a pencil. It's going to be the second set of planning pages. So you're going to flip over your Julie Black Belt answer and get ready to do your second planning page for your second prompt. All right, for those of you following along at home, if you do not have a physical writing packet with you and you're using a device, I'm going to show you where to go. So you're going to go to the Google Drive Distance Learning Materials. You're going to click on the first grade folder. That's us. You're going to click on the writing folder because that's what we're doing right now. You're going to choose which one works best for you, box and bullet or planning paper. I want you to choose that now. Thinking about how writing went for you yesterday, you might want to try something new, or you might stick to what worked best for you. So go ahead and do that now. Awesome. All right, after that, you're going to go to where it says read aloud literary essay prompts right here. You're going to click on that, and you're going to go where it says 3/19 because that is today's date. You're going to click on that folder, and you're going to click on the prompt, and it should look exactly like this. We're going to scroll down and make sure where it says in the text, Jamaica's fine. Jamaica is the character we're going to be talking about today. Now, once you have these writing materials, we're going to move on to the second thing you need, which is why you needed to watch Mr. Scar's read aloud lesson first. We are going to be talking about a book that he did in read aloud. So you're going to go to, again, the Google Drive folder, Distance Learning Materials, first grade, read aloud. You're going to click where it says Thursday 3/19. And then you're going to click, there's part 1 and part 2. So you're going to click on this. And the reason that we're pulling it up is because we're going to be using this as evidence later on. Okay, so don't worry about that just yet, but we want to make sure we have all our materials. Okay, so double check if you have all those things and a nice sharpened pencil with an eraser. Go ahead and do that now. All right, now we're officially ready to get started. Today's flow of writing is going to be a little different than yesterday's, but we're going to be doing the flow we're doing today from now on. We're going to be doing a brainstorm, we're going to be doing a plan, and we're going to be doing our actual writing. Now let's start with our brainstorm. Why do we have to do a brainstorm before we start our plan? Why? Call it out, tell the person next to you. Why? That's right. So you have to do a brainstorm because we have to think of how we're going to answer this prompt. Reading it with me. How would you describe the character Jamaica in Jamaica's Find by Juanita Hazel? So we're going to think of many different words that describe who Jamaica is. Now, let's think of what Jamaica went through in the book. Let's think of the things she was feeling, the things that she was saying, who were the characters in the book, what the problem was, what the solution is. I want you to think of all of that and think of a couple of words of how you would describe Jamaica. Again, you can call it out or you can tell the person next to you. All right, let's hear out some answers. All right, I heard determined, caring, eager. Ooh, nice vocabulary. Honest, playful. Are there any other words that you could think of? I've got enthusiastic. All right, awesome. So we came up together with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 words to describe Jamaica. Awesome job. Everyone give yourselves a big kiss on the brain. My first grade scholar right here is very proud of you all. All right, now that we've made our brainstorm, we are going to move into making our plan. And before we move into making our plan, I want you to circle the word that you're going to use for your essay. Now, I'm going to pick enthusiastic. I'm going to circle that one because that's the one I'm going to use. But go ahead and choose which one you're going to use and write it down on your planning page. All right, awesome job. Now we're going to move into our box and bullet and our web. Now, again, I'm going to do both because we all learn differently, and I want you to see what it's like to use both. But you can go ahead and decide right now which plan you're going to use and have that paper ready. Again, if you're accessing this at home, you are using that page from the folder I showed you in the very beginning. All right. Now, in order to write our topic sentence, we have to make sure we know what the prompt is asking us. All right, so I'm going to read it again. How would you describe the character Jamaica in Jamaica's Find by Juanita Havo? Right, so I chose enthusiastic. So I'm going to write down my topic sentence, and you're going to write down yours. Remember, our topic sentence tells the reader exactly what our opinion is. It's short, it's sweet, it has no word because in it. All right, I'm going to write mine, and while I'm writing mine, I want you to write yours. All right. All right, all of you should have written your sentences down already, and they should be something similar to mine. I'm going to read mine out loud. In the text Jamaica's Find by Juanita Havel, Jamaica is a character that is enthusiastic. Again, that was the word that I chose. Yours is going to say the word that you chose. Now we can move forward in making our plan. We have to think of 3 reasons that prove that Juanita is enthusiastic. Now, because we're doing a book, I want us to write the page numbers of where we found the evidence. All right, now I'm bringing it back to the sharing window so you can see me writing on my chart, but also finding my evidence. So I'm going to go to where the book is, and I'm going to think of examples that prove she's enthusiastic. Right. What was looking back at this book, what did you learn this morning with Mr. Sky and read aloud that you think could prove she's enthusiastic? I found one right here on page 5. Okay, so it says, when Jamaica arrived at the park, there was no one there. It was almost supper time, but she still had a few minutes to play. That shows how much she loves to play. She's really enthusiastic about it. So, again, when you do your box and bullet, it does not have to be complete sentences. You can write it really short so you can stretch it out later in your writing. So, almost supper time, but still had a few minutes to play. Now, the author told us that, and they told us that on page 5 of the book. I just wrote my first reason. Go ahead and write your first reason that proves why Jamaica is the word that you chose from our brainstorm. Go ahead and take a couple seconds and do that now. Okay, now we're going to move into our second reason. Now, when I'm enthusiastic, I'm thinking about what I really, really love to do, right? Having a lot of fun. So I'm going to keep looking in my book as I'm showing you now. If you're at home accessing this, you could either have it on two separate tabs so you can see both. If you are watching this video, you can look with me as you're thinking of evidence. All right, I just came across my second example. It says, then she climbed up the slide. There was a red sock hat on the ladder step. Jamaica took it for a ride. She slid down so fast that she fell in the sand and lay flat on her back. If I'm going down really fast and I flat right on the ground, that shows I must really be having a good time. All right, so I'm going to write that down, but I'm not going to write the whole thing. And again, I'm writing the page number, so this is going to help me in my writing later. So, took a ride on sock hat, slid down so fast, she fell, lay flat. Go ahead and write your reason too that shows and proves why Jamaica is the word that you chose. Go ahead and do that now. All right. Now you can keep on writing, but for the sake of time, I'm going to show you this third reason before I show you on the web. All right. So I'm going to scroll down here. I'm going to see if there's any more evidence that prove just how enthusiastic she is. All right. I just found it. So at the end right here, she says right over here, I like the dog, said Jamaica. This was after her mom said, maybe the dog doesn't fit you either. So she's so enthusiastic about this dog that she's saying it out loud. Says, I like the dog. to her mom. And that was on page 15. I forgot. I took Ride on Sock Hat was on page 8. Okay. All right. So our box and bullet is done. Now I'm going to show you this on the web. All right. Now I've already done my box and bullet, so I'm going to quickly write my evidence, and I'm going to show you how in a web it can be nice and quick. So my topic sentence here goes, in Jamaica's find, by Juanita Havel. Jamaica is a character that is, and I chose what words, friends? Enthusiastic. Jamaica is a character that is enthusiastic. Now we said she took a ride on a sock hat. I'm just using my evidence from my box and bullet. We said it was almost supper. But there was still time to play. She says, I like the dog. To mom. Now again, we have one extra circle, so call on out, raise the hand, tell the person around you, what is one more way that can prove Jamaica is enthusiastic? So, right, if I'm thinking of the end of the story and using those story elements that we learned in Mr. Skyer's read aloud lesson, we know that in the end she's feeling really excited. And it's the author tells us she just couldn't keep from shouting. No, she couldn't keep from shouting, and she said, "Come along with me." Couldn't keep from shouting. Come along with me. Now, she said that because she was trying to help her new friend, and she was excited to be able to do that. All right, so right now, you should have your plan all set, whether it's your web or your box and bullet. And now we are going to begin our writing. Now, all right. In my writing, I start with my topic sentence. All right, everyone all together with me. As I write mine down, you are also writing yours down. Now, reading the first half of our topic sentence all together. In the text, Jamaica's find by Juanita Havel. Jamaica is a character that is enthusiastic. All right, you should have yours down just like I have mine. I know it's a little hard to see. I'm gonna try to use darker markers. All right, let's keep that same energy going. I'm really proud of you guys. All right. After our topic sentence, we remember from yesterday's lesson, we have to stretch out our reasons. It's not enough to just give evidence and be like, this is why. We need to explain them. So I'm going to explain mine and stretch it out. And then while I write mine, you're going to write yours. So my first, I'm going to use my plan to help me. My first one was that it's almost supper, but still time to play. Okay. So that just proves to me she loves any chance she gets at playing. So I'm going to say Jamaica loves to play and uses any time she has to do so. Notice I'm describing what she's like, which proves she's enthusiastic, but I'm not giving any evidence yet. Now, to describe my evidence, I'm going to say, what? Who remembers from yesterday's lesson? Go ahead and call it on out. That's right. One example. So I would say one example of this, and this is where your page numbers are going to help you. Let me flip back to my box and bullet. So I have my page numbers to help you out. One example of this is when the author tells us it was almost supper time, but still had a few minutes to play. All right, that's my first reason and my evidence backing it up from the text. We learned that on page 5. Go ahead and write your first reason and evidence right now. Bring this closer so you can see it. All right, we're going to move right into reason 2. Now, again, we have to stretch out our reasons. I'm going to look at my box and bullet. It says she took a ride on a sock hat. She slid down so fast she fell and she lay flat on her back. So what does that prove to us? It proves to us that Jamaica likes taking risks, right? The risk is that she could get hurt, but she thinks it's fun, which again shows how enthusiastic she is. So I'm stretching it out and I'm going to write down Jamaica enjoys taking risks when she plays because she thinks it's fun. Boom. Now I have to back it up with my evidence. Again, we're looking right in the book to help us. We're going to say an example of this is when the author tells us Jamaica took it for a ride She slid down so fast. She fell in the sand. And lay flat on her back. Take this time right now, write your second reason, an example of evidence that prove why she's enthusiastic, and we'll be ready to write our third reason in just a second. All right. You can finish your writing. For the sake of time, I'm going to move right into my third reason so I can have you see the whole thing clearly. Okay, so for my third reason, again, I'm stretching out the reason and then I'm going to give my evidence. So I'm looking back at my web and it says, I like the dog. It says, I like the dog to her mom. Okay, now what does that tell us? If we're thinking about what happened in the book, Jamaica says she likes the dog after her mom says maybe the dog doesn't fit you either. But she's so enthusiastic about this dog that she said that back to her mom. So I'm going to say that. Jamaica wanted to keep the dog She wanted to keep the stuffed dog, even though it wasn't hers. And we're going to back that up with our evidence, which we found on page 15 of the book. So I'm going to say an example is when she says, I like the dog. To her mom after her mom said, maybe the dog doesn't fit you. Okay. I stretched out my reason. I gave evidence to back it up. Go ahead and write your third reason down now. All right. Now, if you used the web, there was an extra circle, which means you could have had a fourth reason if you used a box and bullet. That was not the case. Either or is fine. I am going to model this with a fourth reason. Now, my fourth reason, if you remember, I'm going to turn to my web here so you can see, was that she couldn't keep from shouting, and she said, come along with me, which shows us what? So we can stretch our reason. She said, come along with me because what was she trying to do? Go ahead and turn and tell the person next to you, or whisper it to yourself. That's right. So she was trying to help out her friend, and she loved that she was able to do it. So all I'm going to say is Jamaica loved helping out. And because this is my last one, I'm going to say a final example is when she wanted to help her new friend Kristen. New spelled N-E-W. Friend Kristen. And couldn't keep from shouting. Come along with me. And we leave that on page 29. Now, to bring it all back full circle, just like we did yesterday, we're going to say, you know it. That's right. All of these reasons show what an enthusiastic character, all of these reasons show what an enthusiastic character Jamaica is. All right, let me push this back so I can see it. Okay. Right now, you can finish wrapping up your reasons, writing those examples. If you have not finished completely, that is okay. Remember, writing is a process, and I want you to read through your work, make sure it makes sense, make sure that you stretched out those reasons, you gave evidence, you wrapped it up, and you used punctuation, you used capitals where they were needed, and then you can share it with that person around you, or you can read it through and be proud of your own work. All right. So that is it for day 2 writing. On day 3, we are going to have a different book, and we'll be describing that character then. Okay, I'm going to show it to you close up. Maybe you can pause the video. Let me hold it nice and straight. All right. Until tomorrow.